Binti Muhammad Najib. My matrix number is 2026110779.
Hi everyone, my name is Shazania Frina binti Saad and my matrix number is 2026109443.
Hello, my name is Siti Salma binti Azni. My matrix number is 2026107715.
Hi, my name is Siti Rakasi Batusha binti Muhammad Ashraf. My matrix number is 2026110031.
Let me introduce compound interest. Compound interest is interest on interest. Unlike simple interest, which is only calculated on your initial deposit, compounding allows you to earn money on both your original principal and the interest you have already accumulated. Because interest can be added daily, monthly, quarterly, or annually, the power of compounding helps a sum of money grow faster than if just simple interest were calculated on the principal alone. So for the next slide, which is problem statement for compound interest, meet Jamal, a university student starting his investment journey with Amanah Saham Bumiputera ASB. As a starting point, he invests an initial amount of 3,000 ringgit Malaysia. He chooses ASB reinvested as additional units. The investment offers an interest rate which is 5.75% rate per annum, compounded semi-annually for 4 years. So for this slide, we will focus on these goals, which is to determine the accumulated amount at the end of Jamal's saving period, and second, to calculate the total interest received by Jamal after 4 years, and third, to calculate account balance at the end of the 4 years investment period if Jamal makes additional deposit of 500 ringgit Malaysia at the end of the 2 years. And lastly, we will see the impact on his final balance if the interest rate drops to 5.5% rate for the last 2 years. In this slide, before we calculate the final value, we need to identify first, which is our principal P, stand for 3,000 ringgit Malaysia, and the annual rate K is 5.75%, and since it's compounded semi-annually, our frequency M is 2. And the time T is 4 years. Using this, we find our periodic interest rate I, which is K per M, giving us 0.02875. We also find N, the total number of interest periods, by multiplying frequency by years, giving us 8 periods total. Now here is our first objective. In order to find maturity value S, we have to use this formula S equal P times 1 plus I to the power of N. We find that Jamal's accumulated amount at the end of 4 years is 3,763.57 ringgit Malaysia. So for the next slide, we will focus on the total interest received. Here, we will see that Jamal earned by just letting his money sit. To find the total interest I, we subtract the original principal P from the maturity value S. So over 4 years, Jamal earned a total of 763.57 ringgit Malaysia in interest.
Now let's move on to our next part of presentation, which is objective 3. To calculate account balance at the end of the 4 years investment period if Jamal makes additional deposit of RM500 at the end of the 2 years, I have solved it and I have broken down 3 steps. And the first step is, we need to find the accumulated amount for the first 2 years before the deposit is made using the compound interest formula. Our initial principal which is P1 is RM3000. We earn interest rate which is 5.05%, and semi-annually for 2 years, which is M equals to 2. This brings our first compound amount to RM3,360.70. Step 2 is the additional deposit. Next, at the end of the 2 years, Jamal injects an additional RM500 of deposits to the account. Therefore, we add RM500 to our previous balance, which is give us a new principals. And the principals which is P2 is RM3,860.70. Step 3, finally, this new amount continues to compound for the remaining 2 years at the same interest rate. After applying the formula once again, we get a final total account balance, which is S2 of RM4,323.60 at the end of the 4-year investment period. For the last objective, which is objective 4, to calculate the accumulated amount at the end of the investment period, if the interest rate changed to 5.50% per annum for the final 2 years. Step 1, principal PRM3000, rate 5.75%, frequencies M2, time T 2 years. I equals to 0.0575 divided by 2, and N equals to 4. And the answer of the compound for step 1 is RM3,360.70. For the step 2, the principal frequency time is the same and the rate changed to 5.50%. I equals to 0.055 divided by 2 and equals to 4. We just use the same formula and the final answers for compound amount is Rm 3,343 and 86 cents. So here is the explanation. The final amount is lower compared to the original calculation in question 1, which is Rm 3,763 and 57 cents. This is because the decrease in the interest rate reduces the amount of interest added to the principal during the compounding process in the final 2 years. In conclusion, Jamal experience show how compound interest work using Jamal's ASB investment. We use simple maths to see how his RM 3000 grow over 4 years and how adding RM 500 or changing the interest rate affect his final savings. In real life, learning this helps us make smarter choices with our money. It teaches us how to save better, grow our wealth, and make good financial decisions for the future.
Introduction of annuity. Annuity is a financial arrangement involving a series of equal payment at a regular interval over a specific period of time. It's commonly used in loan insurance, premium, retirement saving, and investment plan. In mathematics and finance, annuity help individuals calculate the amount of periodic payment and the total interest involved. There are different types of annuities as ordinary annuity and annuity due depending on when the payments are made. Understanding an annuity is important because it assists people in managing their finance and planning future expenses effectively. Anwar plans to purchase a Portal and take car insurance plan with an annual premium of Ringgit Malaysia 1,207 and 8 cents, which is he choose to pay the insurance through monthly installment for 12 months using the annuity method. The interest rate given is 5% per annum, compounded monthly. First objective is determine the amount of monthly payment that Anwar need to pay for the yearly car insurance premium using the annuity method. The second objective is to calculate the total interest incurred through the insurance installment payment period.
Here's the annuity objective questions 3 and 4. So for the question 3 is to calculate the total outstanding balance if Anwar decide to settle the insurance payment early after paying for 6 months. For the question 4, to determine the amount of outstanding area that Anwar needs to pay the next payment if he missed 2 consecutive monthly payments.
We will go to the result and definition. Determine the monthly payment represented by R for Anwar yearly car insurance premium using the annuity formula. Here the total amount of the insurance premium is A, RM 100, 2,087 and 80 cents. The interest rate given is 5% per year, so we convert into a monthly interest rate by dividing 0.05 by 12, and we got 0.004167. Since the payment is made monthly for 1 year, the total number of payment is N 12 multiply 1 and we got 12. Now when we rearrange the formula to find R, we take the present value A, which is the total insurance premium of RM 100,287 and 80 cents. To find the installment, we use the outstanding balance formula structure for present value where A equal R multiplied by the discount factor 1 minus 1 plus I to the power of negative n, all divided by I. After substituting all this value into their proper place in the formula, we calculate everything and get final monthly installment of RM 110.25. Our second objective is to calculate the total interest income. Find the total interest I, we multiply the money payment R by the total number of payment N to find the total amount paid and then subtract the original premium amount A. Then we get 35.20 cents.
So let's look at step 1 and step 2. To break down the info, the original total number of payment for 1 year is 12 months. Since Anwar has already paid for 6 months, the remaining months left are 12 minus 6, which give us n equals 6. So our monthly payments is 125 cents. So and for the periodic interest rates I, we take the annual rate of 5% and divide it by 12 since it's big monthly. Moving to step 3, we substitute all this value into the annuity present value formula as shown on the screen. After calculating, we can conclude that the total outstanding balance that Anwar needs to pay to clear his debt early is RM 651 ringgit 97 cents. So now, let's move on to the objective 4. In this scenario, we want to determine the total amount of outstanding area that Anwar needs to pay if he accidentally missed 2 consecutive monthly payments. Unlike the previous slide, when someone misses payments, that money will accumulate interest into future. Therefore, we must use the future value formula as instead of present value. So let's look at the step 1. Since he missed 2 payments, our number of periods n is equal to 2. We use the same monthly payments R equal R 110 ringgit 25 cents and the same monthly interest rate I equal 0.05 per 12. We plug this number into the future value formula after compounding the missed payments with interest rate for 2 months. We get the final result in step 2. So the total outstanding area that Anwar must pay in his net installment is Rm 220 ringgit 96 cents. In conclusions, Anwar's experience shows us that using an annuity makes us a big expense like car insurance much easier to handle by breaking it into smaller monthly payments. However, his situation also teaches us that convenience comes with a cost as he ends up paying extra in interest. By calculating his balance and late payments area, we learn that the importance of paying on time and understanding exactly how much we owe. This makes Anwar's case a perfect example of how maths help us stay in control of our money in the real world.